Ah, alright. Hello, YouTube. It's Andre the West here, and my friend Last Night BC. Welcome back to another live stream. Give me a second, guys. Ooh, a new CV11 video just came up. I'll watch that tomorrow. I am live. Excellent. Alright. It's here. Alright, guys, so we're going to pick up where we left off from the last live stream. I'm going to move away in this here. Ah, there we go. Alright, so we're going to pick up where we left off. Inside the stifling, humid command truck, the electronic monitors are starting to flicker and hiss as the emergency backup diesel generators struggle under low fuel. The atmosphere between the two intelligence operatives has turned into raw, exhausted frustration. Neither you or Jordan can hear them over the crisp audio bleach and the bubbling of your pasta water, but their urgent conversation translates onto Agent Mikiko tapping on a failing keyboard. The physical topography labs have completed an analysis on the tire track molds from kilometer marker 12. The super elastic rebound metrics and structural compression ratios are definitive, Hanaku. The transport's wheel matrices are composed of a highly advanced nickel-titanium shaped memory alloy. Nitinol? Well, that means the matrices, the materials were sourced domestically. Run a check on the central industrial registers for high-volume manufacturing hubs. I already did. There is only one high-output facility in the sector capable of synthesizing that specific crystalline matrix structure, the Kanto the Metal Industries plant, located 30 miles north of our current position. If those men need to service that vehicle or secure replacement part components, sorry, I'm just getting hiccups, for their long-term survival, that facility is their primary strategic bottleneck. I don't think a lot of people say the word bottleneck, but I'm just going to go with it. Gonna move my character. Also, I'm going to take off my radar and heads up this way. You guys don't need to see that. Oop, wrong one. Wrong one. There we go. There we go. Look at this. They just have you look at butterflies before they just disappear. They are playing a logistical waiting game until they know Agent Hanaku, her voice sharp and decisive. They are playing a logistical waiting game because they know they have a working water supply inside that basin. But they cannot stay underground forever. If we continue to waste our remaining diesel fuel idling on this ridge, our command hub will go dead by tomorrow morning. We are shifting strategy. Are we abandoning the basin blockades? We have a skeletal drone surveillance line at the valley exits. Order the primary Special Assault Team Ground Division to immediately break camp and route all remaining functional heavy transports directly to the Kanto Naito manufacturing plant. We will establish a hard, non-lethal containment grid inside the factory gates. If those men attempt to access that material on day 7, they will walk directly into a cage they cannot escape. The trap is shifting. At 4:40 p.m., your realization from earlier was 100% accurate. Mikiko and Hanaku have officially taken the bait. They are pulling their heavy special forces off your canyon ridge and moving their entire operation to the Nitinol factory to wait for you. By choosing to pack up and leave the basin, the government is completely giving up their chokehold on your current position. The path out of the valley will be completely clear by tonight. You easily keep your black and gray gloves steady. Well, actually, I'm barehanded. I mean, I'm not going to be wearing my full outfit in the RV. Checking the noodles while your 5 milligram lunch... Okay, the lunch gummy would have been done already. Skipping that. Jordan notices the decrypted text scrolling across the console and lets out a massive proud grin. Man, they're running off to the factory just like you said they would. Jordan laughs. His deep voice rich and amused. They're clearing out our ridge. The valley is officially ours. And the spaghetti smells incredible. What's the play after we eat? It's 4:49 p.m. I said, the play? Well, we could just raid the plant now. I mean, after we eat, get the materials, and go somewhere far more remote. Or we stay here until more soldiers arrive. Either way, we're getting those materials, one way or the other. Jordan drops his fork onto his plate, a massive matching grin spreading across his mature face as he looks up from the slice of garlic bread. He nods aggressively, his deep voice carrying a wave of pure tactical excitement. Raiding the plate now? Oh, man, that is the ultimate audible. Jordan chuckles. His shoulders are shaking. Think about the timing. Agent Hanago and Agent Makiko literally just ordered their special forces to pack up and start driving 30 miles north. If we eat our spaghetti quickly, slam the RV into gear, and hit the highway, we can easily outpace their heavy convoys. We'll reach the Kanto factory gates before their main defensive grid is even set up. The window of opportunity. By changing your timeline from day 7 to tonight, you are completely invalidating the government's entire strategy. You will catch a skeleton crew of factory guards off guard instead of a fortified military containment zone. You'll drive 30 miles north, use your phalanx turret to clear any light resistance at the gates, scoop up the specialized... Did we at... Oh. How far back did we... How far did we go? You know what? I'm just gonna keep reading. The RV's battery reserves sit at 100%, and the automated phalanx turret on the roof hums, lightly on standby, ready to turn any hostile drone or vehicle into confetti the moment you pull out the Black Cedar Basin. It's 5:03 p.m. Jordan unhooked the water line. I set the RV to autopilot to take us to the nitinol manufacturing plant. I almost forgot that I have an autopilot feature on this. What? Driving is sometimes too stimulating. I made note of that. Jordan completely understands, nodding as he wipes down the counter. Hey, there's no shame in that. Manually steering a 10-ton rolling fortress through a pitch-black, grid-dead country while an intelligence agency hunts you down is a literal definition of overstimulating. Let the machine do all the heavy lifting. Autopilot route, day 3, 5:10 p.m. The disconnect. Outside, the heavy-duty waterline mechanically retracts into its sealed belly bay without a sound. You type the coordinates for the Kanto Metal Industries plant into the navigation interface. The RV's operational optical sensors and digital night vision telemetry map out a 30-mile path along the overgrown logging tracks and onto the empty northern highway. The departure. The electric drivetrain pulses to life. The RV smoothly navigates out of the Black Cedar entirely on its own, leaving the quiet natural spring behind. Inside the safe zone, the cabin remains a perfect 68 degrees sanctuary. You can comfortably relax on the cream cushions, letting the sensory overload fade while the automated phalanx turret on the roof hums on active standby. Jordan watches the dashboard navigation screen as the RV seamlessly executes a turn onto the main highway asphalt. Its highlights completely killed to maintain full stealth in the dark. According to the map timeline, the autopilot should have us at the factory gates by 5:45 p.m. We are officially outpacing the government's heavy convoys. It's 5:11 p.m. I said, we should get our armor on. No more disguises. We are men, and we will fight like men. I am expecting them to show up either ahead of us, or we will have to fight them when they get there. Jordan's jaw sets, a fierce tactical gravity locking onto his face. Damn right. No more games, no more wigs. We're going in loud and heavy. The armoring phase. You step back onto the secure cream vault. Actually, it's a gray-colored vault. It's completely leaving your casual clothes behind. You slide into your 15th century composite plate armor. The space-age joint matrix hums faintly as, okay, I don't really need to tell all this shit. While you suit up, the RV's autopilot glides flawlessly down the park unlit northern highway at 60 miles per hour. Its headlights are completely killed, navigating solely via low-frequency radar and infrared night vision cameras. The digital dashboard display tracks your progress. 15 miles remaining until the Kanto Industries plant. It's actually not that far away. Jordan steps up to the cockpit in full samurai gear. His deep voice echoing with a sharp metallic ring through his visor. Autopilot is maintaining a perfect line. At this pace, we hit the facility gates at 5:45 p.m. If their skeleton security crew or an early convoy vanguard is waiting at the entrance, they are about to face two fully armored men. I'm not going to call us anomalies anymore, that's dumb. It's 5:16 p.m. I said two anomalies. Meh, we're getting close. Jordan lets out a sharp metallic chuckle through his samurai visor, adjusting the heavy strap on his tungsten axe. Yeah, anomalies is just a fancy word for two dudes with space-age steel and massive tactical advantage. Let's show them how we operate. Closing the distance, day 3, at 5:25 p.m. We are just 5 miles until we reach the Kanto Metal Industries. Through the one-way film of the borosilicate windshield, the Japanese the factories are our houses and massive transitions, silhouettes against the sky. Autopilot precision, the RV glides flawlessly down the dark, deserted lanes. Its radar sensors seamlessly glide the polyurethane and nitinol wheels over. Give me a second, guys. God damn it. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. Technical difficulties. None. Alright. Closing it. Oh, I've already read that part. Turret alignment. On the roof, the automated phalanx turret shifts silently on its mount, its tracking sensors scanning the horizon for any thermal spikes or active radar signatures from a sea-road defense perimeter. Jordan steps up right behind the driver's console, his frame fully locked into the matte blanket. Well, we already know that part. We are officially under 3 minutes out, Jordan says. Alright, so the main factory gates are completely up around this next blend. No sign of their heavy armor convoys on the highway behind us yet. We completely beat their main... Oh, that's what Jordan is still saying this. The main factory gates are completely... Coming up right around this next bend, no sign of their heavy convoys headlights on the highway behind us yet. We completely beat their main force. My glasses are fogging up now. At least I'm not getting yawning fits. You guys remember the several live streams? I've been getting yawning fits like left and right. We actually made it a lot earlier on schedule, so it's like 5:21 p.m. we made it to the Kanto plant. The autopilot cuts through the final stretch of the dark highway, pulling up on the perimeter Kanto Metal Industries plant at 5:21 p.m. The massive industrial facility looms ahead, a giant maze of steel pipes, silos, and warehouses completely blacked out by the regional power failure. Ugh, so many notifications. The primary... Oh, I already read... Oh, did I already read that? Okay. The primary entrance features heavy reinforced wrought iron security gates wrapped in chain link fencing, completely locked down. A small security checkpoint shack sits right next to the gates. The windows are dark, but the RV's infrared night vision telemetry picks up 2 light signatures inside. The skeleton security crew Hanako mentioned. Because your headlights are killed and your electric drive is dead silent, they have absolutely no idea a 10-ton armored fortress is just materialized in their driveway. Alright guys, gear up. This is going to be pretty fun. Jordan raises his sonic charge shield, his deep voice carrying a sharp metallic ring inside his samurai helmet. We caught them completely flat-footed, man. Mikiko and Hanako's heavy special forces convoys are still miles down the highway. It's just us and the skeleton crew. The autopilot hums on standby, waiting for your final input right at the ridge of the gate barricade. Your 15th century composite armor is locked and loaded. And your left hand is ready for your 4-pound flanged mace. Jordan shoots the gate with his crossbow, destroying the lock. Jordan lets out a fierce metallic shout inside his helmet as he leans out the entryway and fires. The tungsten alloy evisceration broadhead flies with extreme kinetic force, slamming directly into the heavy steel lock mechanism. The lock instantly shatters into a cloud of metal fragments under the impact. What's this? What is that? Oh, that's you. Oh, look at that beautiful sunset. I'm going to stand over here. I don't see those butterflies anymore. They were like in an infinite loop. Alright. The lock instantly... I already read that part. Leaving the heavy rod and swinging loose on the hinges. You slam your armored frame into the driver's seat and crush the accelerator. The electric drivetrain lets out a powerful kinetic roar as you take full manual control. The heavy, dull, matte gray nose of the RV punches right through the unlatched gates, sending the iron panels flying outward into the dark concrete shipping yard. On the roof, the automated phalanx turret tracks to life, its optical and thermal sensors scanning the entire industrial yard in milliseconds. It sits on total auto-engage, its barrel micro-adjusting to shred anything that flashes a hostile radar signature or weapon flash. Inside the dark guard shack, the 2 skeleton crew guards stumble onto the gravel in complete panic, their flashlights bouncing wildly off your massive armored hull. They are completely paralyzed by the sheer size of the vehicle. You steer the 10-ton fortress deep into the loading dock zone, pulling a smooth, heavy halt right outside the main Nitinol storage warehouse doors. Jordan slams his heavy tungsten axe against the sonic charge shield, his deep voice booming over the rumbles of the wheels. Now this is a heist. Forget hiding in tunnels. We are taking this universe's prize right from under their noses. It's 5:23 p.m. Jordan and I go to the entrance and locate the materials we need. Agents Mikiko and Hanako are getting close. Please stop using brackets and unnecessary timestamps. Got it. Good to know for the next time. I will drop the brackets and timestamps entirely from here on out. You and Jordan storm out of the RV in your full composite armor and sprint directly toward the shipping entrance of the main industrial facility. Inside the dark, cavernous warehouses, I am going to be sneezing soon. The beam of your tactical lights bounces off row after row of massive industrial storage crates until you lock your sights onto the prize. You locate a row of heavy-duty military-grade transit crates sealed with industrial tags reading Kanto Alloy Group, nitinol shape memory structure. Inside the crates sit dense, pristine ingots and wire coils of the highly coveted nickel-titanium alloy ready to be melted down or weaponized for future universe jumps. Jordan uses his 6-foot frame and heavy armor to hoist the high-density crate off the steel rack, ready to carry it out of the RV's large internal cargo bay. The closing net. While you are grabbing the first crate, the RV's internal console, synced directly to your armor's heads-up display — I didn't think our armor was that high-tech — begins to flash a rapid amber warning. The intercepted data streams from the salvage tablets show that the government's convoys are closing the distance incredibly fast. Agent Makiko and Agent Hanaku have realized they were outsmarted. They have pushed their light-armored advanced vards to maximum speed, and their headlights are officially about to crest through the main highway ridge overlooking the industrial yard. They are arriving much earlier than their heavy infantry line, moving fast to try to pin you inside the warehouse. Jordan hands you a heavy wire coil, his deep voice carrying a sharp metallic ring inside his helmet. They're pulling up to the perimeter now. We've got the first batch of nitinol, but we need to choose whether we grab the rest or the crates or make a hard break for the RV right this second. No. I'm taking those nitinol smart alloy material. It's 5:29 p.m. Jordan and I loaded a second crate when we were at the RV. Several soldiers with anti-material rifles arrived. Agents Makiko and Hanaku kept their distance because of the phalanx turret at 5:32 p.m. At 5:32 p.m., I set the RV to autopilot. Jordan found an escape route. Sorry, I just read the prompt, guys. The heavy steel doors of your internal cargo bay slide shut, locking two massive crates of pristine nitinol-shaped memory alloy safely inside your Sovereign bubble. Outside, the pitch-black shipping yard is suddenly illuminated by the harsh, sweeping beams of tactical spotlights. Several special assault team soldiers fan out across the perimeter. Oh, got one more character. Oh, where was I? Oh, right here. Aggressively hoisting heavy anti-material rifles, aiming directly at your RV's wheel assemblies and sensors to freeze you in place. Further back down the access road, Agent Makiko and Agent Hanaku keep their command vehicles completely dialed back. They remembered how their multi-million-dollar combat drone was vaporized in less than a second, and they have no intention on letting their own transport into the automated tracking radius of your roof-mounted phalanx turret. Yeah, that phalanx turret's no joke, guys. You know what they do in real life? Mine is ultra-lightweight materials and shoots tungsten alloy sabo rounds. Non-explosive, all precision. Still devastating. You slap the master override panel inside the entry door, instantly engaging the high-speed autopilot network while Jordan punches a fresh set of navigation coordinates directly into the central display. Jordan bypasses the primary highway traps entirely, mapping a high-speed exit trajectory through a rear industrial chain link boundary that connects directly to an unpatrolled, abandoned dirt pipeline tracking deep into the northern mountains. The electric drivetrain lets out a high-torque whine as the polyurethane and nitinol wheels bite into the asphalt. As the RV lunges forward, the automated phalanx turret tracks the thermal flash of the soldiers' positions, unleashing a brief, deafening kinetic burst of tungsten alloy saber rounds right over their heads, chewing through the concrete pillars above them above them into gravel and forcing the sniper lines to dive for cover. You know, I would be doing the same thing if I had a phalanx turret like that. Anyways, the heavy armored nose of the RV smashes through the secondary perimeter fencing like wet paper, rocketing into the dark dirt track and leaving the flashing tactical lights and of the Cantu plant shrinking in your reflective rearview film. You and Jordan brace yourselves inside the heavy composite suits as the autopilot handles the violent vibrations of the rough mountain trail at high speed. You successfully raided the facility, secured your primary objective, and completely bypassed the trap Makiko and Hanako spent their remaining fuel to build. They cannot catch a break, can't they? It's 5:34 p.m. I said, some heist that was. Too bad for Makiko and Hanako. They literally just wasted their entire resources. They just wasted their resources going there. Or did they? Well, they probably use that factory as a base of operations now. Not that it would matter. We're not going out way to fight them. She might come out. My cat might come out. You never know. Jordan slides his matte black samurai helmet off, letting out a massive exhausted breath that shifts into a wide, triumphant grin. He tosses the helmet onto the polished wood trim table and leans back into the soft cushions. Man, that was a legendary heist, Jordan says, his deep voice rich with amusement. And your logic is spot on. They are absolutely going to convert that entire Cantu factory into a heavily fortified forward operating base now, thinking they are securing a vital perimeter, completely oblivious to the fact that we already cleaned out the exact material we came for. The post-heist reality. The prize is secured. 2 massive military-grade transit crates filled with pristine nitinol-shaped memory alloy are safely locked down in your cargo bay. Your primary mission for this universe run is 100% complete. The strategic shift. By abandoning the Cantu plant to Agent Makiko and Agent Hanako, you are leaving them to guard an empty cage. They will waste their dwindling diesel fuel in emergency batteries, maintaining a heavy military garrison at a factory you've already had no intention of ever visiting again. The RV's advanced autopilot continues to glide flawlessly down the dark, unpatrolled dirt pipeline track, navigating deep into the remote northern mountains via infrared telemetry. No headlights or drone signatures are tracking your path. Jordan looks at the 2 heavy crates in the back, then glances over at you in your flat matte gray composite plate armor. We have our loot, a full week of food, and enough filtered spring water to keep us completely self-sustained. Like you said, let them play army at the factory. We have zero reason to go out our way to fight them. The soundproof borosilicate cabin remains a perfect, peaceful 68-degree sanctuary as the dark mountain wilderness wraps around your rolling fortress. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I am loving this idea for an RV. Can you guys imagine military people using this thing? Oh, the amount of money it would cost to craft this stuff. Oh, gotta turn my chair off. It's 5:33 p.m. I set the RV on autopilot to go to the secluded area in the mountains. What are Agents Makiko and Hanako saying to each other? The digital terminals inside the dimly lit, humid Zero Command truck flicker violently as the backup diesel generator shudders on its last drops of fuel. Agent Makiko frantically types at a failing keyboard, pulling up the immediate telemetry map of the Kanto plant to show the catastrophic breakdown of their tactical vanguard. These 2 cannot catch a break, guys. Agent Makiko, Hanaku, the Kanto facility's regional communication array has just registered a hard structural breach. The perimeter security gate lock was physically obliterated by a high-velocity tungsten projectile, and the primary transport has successfully forced its way into the shipping yards. Agent Hanaku, what about the special assault team snipers we deployed? Did they establish a non-lethal blockade line? The SAT lines attempted to anchor their anti-material rifles to target the wheels, but the transport's roof-mounted kinetic turret opened fire with a series of precise, high-velocity suppression bursts. It systematically chewed through our elevated concrete firing positions, forcing the entire sniper squad to drop their weapons and dive for cover. Damn them! They intentionally drew us out to clear their path, raided the facility, and stripped the exact raw materials they wanted before our heavy infantry convoys could even turn around on the highway. It gets worse. The thermal tracking sensors just confirmed that the vehicle didn't use the primary highway to escape. They engaged a fully automated navigation path and rocketed straight into the unpatrolled dirt pipeline heading directly into the northern mountains. They completely played us. They used their own strategic, oh, here's my kitty cat. Keep the remaining drone lines on the absolute high-powered standby along the northern ridgelines. If those men think they can completely vanish into the peaks, they are mistaken. Safely in the peaks. The RV's high-speed autopilot seemingly manages the violent rattling of the steep mountain trail. Utilizing digital night vision and infrared tracking to steer your 10-ton rolling fortress deep into the rugged wilderness, the cabin remains a silent, perfectly 62-degree sanctuary, completely isolating you and Jordan from the panic of the intelligence sector. Oh, God. It's 5:36 p.m. Jordan puts on One Piece. I said, I actually liked the show a few years ago. I got bored of it, though. It's so long. They get captured too often, and you know Nico Robin is supposed to look like a waifu. Jordan lets out a big booming laugh, tossing a remaining piece of garlic bread back onto his plate as the familiar upbeat East Blue theme music starts playing through the Bluetooth boombox. Oh, you are 100% spot on about the pacing, Jordan chuckles, his deep voice rich with amusement. If you aren't ready to sit through a literal 1,000 episodes of people running down endless hallways and getting thrown into a sea stone cages every 5 minutes, it definitely gets boring fast. And yeah, Nico Robin's entire character design is basically the blueprint for the ultimate waifu. Oda definitely knew exactly what he was doing with that one. Cruising into the mountain refuge. While the animated waves of the Grand Line splash across the television screen, the RV's high-speed autopilot seamlessly guides your tent. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just picturing myself having to sit and watch One Piece while we're hunted by the government. Guides your 10-ton rolling fortress further up the remote pipeline trail. I'm literally one of those people who can actually project a mental image as I'm reading, so I do definitely get a joy out of reading this. Up on the high ridges behind you, the government's remaining skeletal drone. Aw, you can't even see on the camera. Oh, there you go, baby. Up on the high mountains, the government's remaining skeletal drone lines are completely blind. Your infrared night vision telemetry confirms there are no aerial assets or ground vehicles tracking your ascent into the peaks. Oh, gotta move my character. Ooh. You know, I'm gonna have us look at the stars. They give you something nice to look at. Well, I'm looking at my phone. Two massive industrial Alright, the loot matrix. Two massive industrial transit crates of pristine nitinol-shaped memory alloys sit perfectly secure in your cargo bay, completely safe from Agent Mikiko and Agent Hanako's reach. The soundproof borosilicate glass, okay, I'm not going to read that part, buffer to completely protect your ADD and autism baseline from the pitch-black, grid-dead wilderness outside. Jordan gets comfortable against the soft cream couch cushions, keeping his eyes on the classic animation as the episode transitions from the crew's earliest adventure. And honestly, even if the pacing is slow, having hundreds of episodes on a hard drive is the ultimate luxury right now. We can just zone out, eat our food, and let Mikiko and Hanako turn that empty factory into a fortress while we chill in the peaks. It's 6:06 p.m. What are Agents Mikiko and Hanako saying and doing right now? Inside the Zero command vehicle, the final countdown has officially hit 0. The electronic monitors hiss, spark, and go completely dead as the backup diesel generator lets out one last mechanical sputter and dies, plunging the humid workspace into a suffocating pitch-black silence. Agent Makiko drops her pen onto the desk with total exhaustion, while Agent Hanaku stands frozen in the dark, staring at the blank, lifeless terminal walls. They are completely out of fuel, out of network power, and out of options. Agent Makiko. That's it. The auxiliary batteries are completely drained. The localized radar relays are dead, and we have zero contact with the remaining SAT units at the plant or the ridge lines. We are officially operating completely blind. Agent Hanaku, her voice is raw and defeated. They planned this perfectly. They didn't just outmaneuver our ground troops. They outlasted our entire energy supply chain. They knew our infrastructure would fracture by day 6, and they simply waited for the darkness to pull the rug from under us. What are your orders for the factory garrison? If the men can't receive network updates, they are going to begin a manual retreat to the Tokyo centralization hubs by tomorrow morning. Agent Hanaku letting out a cold, bitter breath. Let them retreat. There is nothing left to guard at that facility anyway. Those 2 men took exactly what they wanted and vanished into the mountain peaks, where our satellite sweeps can't track them. We lost them, Makiko. We spent our last logistical lifelines hunting ghosts, and they beat us without ever offering a single concession. Miles away, tucked deep into the pristine... sunrise. Miles away, tucked deep inside the pristine... secluded mountain cavern. Your dull matte gray fortress sits in total contrast to the chaotic collapse below. The internal systems are running flawlessly on your full self-sustaining battery grid, keeping the soft cream cabin at a crisp, perfect 68 degrees. 68 degrees is actually kind of cold, guys. I mean, I would probably sit around like 70, but yeah, 68 is actually pretty comfortable too. Maybe not for a lot of people, though. That's pretty cold for some people. The high-fidelity Bluetooth boombox fills the room with the lively, nostalgic audio of the early One Piece episodes while Jordan relaxes on the opposite couch, completely content with the evening victory. It's 7:26 p.m. I ate a handful of unsalted nuts, milk, and a THC gummy while Jordan was still watching One Piece. I went outside to wander around the RV. You slide out of your heavy 15th century combat armor, locking the matte gray armor back in the secure vault, swapping your heavy combat gear for your loose, familiar gray light jacket and track pants. You head to the kitchen module to fuel up. You knock back a dense handful of unsalted nuts. You wash it down with a glass of rich milk, and you let your evening fight. Actually, it's a 25 milligram gummy. Dissolve under. I wouldn't have it under my tongue. Ease you into a deep state of relaxation after a high voltage afternoon. Inside the cozy, soft cream cabin, the lively background audio of early One Piece episodes continue to play through the high fidelity Bluetooth boombox as Jordan stays glued to the TV screen, completely content with the day's massive victory. You press the manual override switch, and the heavy laminate borosilicate door glides open with a soft hiss, closing firmly behind you to trap the interior noise inside your soundproof fortress. The air inside the deep, secluded mountain cavern is incredibly crisp. Cool and completely still. The scent of damp stone and wild mountain pine completely clears out your senses. The absolute blackout. Looking out from the mouth of the cavern, the entire Japanese landscape below is a silent, bottomless void of pitch black darkness. There are no city grids flickering, no distant headlights on the highway, and no satellite reflections tracking the peaks. The world is officially gone completely cold. You slowly walk a slow lap around the exterior of the RV. The autonomous microcapsule skin looks perfectly smooth in the dim ambient light. The dull gray matte finish completely blending into the natural look rock walls of the cave. The automated phalanx turret sits quietly. Actually, I think I would have it put back in, like, the scanning the pitch black cave. I'm gonna sneeze soon, guys. Gracie might have to get up. Crap, I forgot to mute. I should have muted. Oh, I'm gonna have to sneeze on this one. Alright, the relaxing warmth of the evening edible begins to slowly spread. I'm gonna have to sneeze again, of course. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna have to sneeze again. Well, that's inconvenient. The relaxing warmth of the evening edible begins to slowly spread through your... I'm gonna have to sneeze again. Jeez. Sneezing fits. And yesterday was yawning fits. You stretch your arms, walking slowly along the bank of the rig, listening to the faint, distant echo of mountain wind brushing past the cave entrance. You are completely safe, untouchable, and your cargo bay is packed with pristine nitinol alloy. It is 7:47 p.m. I return to the RV. Who is... Alright, guys, so here's when things are going to start getting interesting. We're adding a new character in the roster. Who is Agent Makiko and Hanako's superior? When they talk to Makiko and Hanako, what would they say and do? Director Kaizu Hara is Agent Makiko and Agent Hanako's immediate superior. She is the Director of Cabinet Intelligence and the newly appointed Chief of the National Intelligence Bureau. Because the regional power failure completely fried the communications truck network lines, Makiko and Hanako had to use old low-frequency backup military radios to patch an old low-frequency backup military radio to patch a direct voice line into her secure underground command bunker in Tokyo. This is what they're saying, guys. Director Kaizu Hara. Her voice, deep, authoritative, and strictly professional. Report. Agent Hanako, the National Intelligence Council is demanding an immediate briefing. Our satellite passes confirm total telemetry loss over the northern Kanto sector. Did your special assault team secure the anomalous multi-axle transport? Agent Hanako, stammering, her tone stressed and exhausted. Director, the operation has suffered a total tactical failure. The two men anticipated our movement. They successfully infiltrated the Kanto Metal Industries facility before our primary containment lines could even deploy. They raided the specialized storage vaults, neutralized our sniper positions using a vehicle-mounted kinetic point defense turret, and fled into the unpatrolled pipeline tracks. Agent Director Kaizu Hara, a long, icy silence fills the radio line. You allowed two men to dismantle an elite Special Forces vanguard and plunder a state asset. The Prime Minister was personally briefed on their existence. Do you understand the geopolitical implications if foreign intelligence assets intercept these targets before we do? Agent Makiko. Director, their vehicle is operating on an independent, self-sustaining energy matrix. They are intentionally evading our grid parameters. Our mobile command truck has suffered a total generator failure. We no longer possess the hardware to track their mountain trajectory. Hera, Director Hera, your localized authority is stripped. Pull your remaining SAT personnel out of that prefecture and report to the Tokyo Green Zone for immediate debriefing. If these men are navigating the northern peaks, they are moving away from civilian centralization sectors. I am handing this file over to our National Counterintelligence Division. We will establish structural level border boundaries around the entire mountain range. If they attempt to descend from those peaks, they will face a full military garrison. Ah! Sorry about that, guys. Just pressing buttons. Alright, how far am I on this? Alright, safe in the cavern. I turn my chair on. The radio lines click dead with the sharp hiss of static. Director Hera has officially pulled the plug on Mikiko and Hanako's field operations, recalling them back to Tokyo in complete disgrace. Oh shit, it's raining. Jordan looks over at the tablet screen, letting out a low whistle as your evening THC governing leaves you completely cozy, loose, and heavy-eyed on the cushions. Well, look at that, Jordan says, his deep voice carrying a relaxed chuckle. Mikiko and Hanako just got completely fired from our case. Their boss is pulling them back to Tokyo. We are officially completely alone in these mountains. Jordan tosses a crumbled napkin onto the table, shaking his head with an appreciative grunt. Man, Director Hera sounds terrifying over a low-frequency radio link. You can tell she has zero patience for field failure. Recalling Mikiko and Hanako to Tokyo is a massive relief on our immediate power. Wait, was that say? For our immediate perimeter. If she is spinning up a larger containment grid around... Even if she is spinning up a larger containment grid around the mountain base. The evening wind down. You sink further into the plush cushions of the couch, your frame fully absorbed into the deep, relaxing warmth of your 25 milligram evening gummy. Your ADD and autism baseline tension is completely gone, leaving you in a state of absolute sensory comfort within the 68-degree sanctuary. Outside the thick, soundproof borosilicate glass, the remote mountain cavern is dead silent and completely blacked out. The autonomous microcapsule skin blends perfectly into the shadows, while the roof of the Phoenix remains on active standby. On the television screen, early episodes of One Piece continue to stream effortlessly from your hard drives, providing a colorful, upbeat contrast to the cold, dead universe outside. The logistics check. With your primary nitinol hull sitting safely in the cargo bay, your week of food untouched, and your internal water tanks filled with pure spring water, you have zero reasons to break cover. Jordan picks up the TV remote, lowering the volume slightly to accommodate your heavy-eyed headspace. We ran a perfect heist, outmaneuvered an intelligence squad, and got their entire field team pulled back to Tokyo. I'd say day 3 is an absolute, undeniable win. Go ahead and pass out, man. I'll log down the main terminal display and wake you up when the sun hits the peaks. It's 8:04. I'm high on a 25 milligram THC gummy. I said, hey Jordan, if you had to choose between a universe where white people never existed or a universe where nuclear weapons never existed, which one would you go to for a week? Jordan completely freezes where he's sitting, his mature face processing the question for a second before he lets out a massive booming laugh that bounces off the soft cream walls of the soundproof cabin. He looks over at you, his eyes wide open with absolute amusement as he watches you melt into the couch cushions, completely spaced out on your gummy. Ugh. 25 milligrams of THC turns you into a literal cosmic philosopher, man. Jordan roars. Jordan's deep voice is rich and laughing. That is an absolutely unhinged choice to throw at me during an anime marathon. White people never existing versus nukes never existing, just for a week? He props his feet up on the opposite bench of the polished wood trim table, a thoughtful but highly amused grin on his face as he actually breaks down the logic of your question. Realistically speaking, I am picking the universe where nuclear weapons never existed, Jordan says, leaning back with a chuckle. If you go to a universe where white people never existed, you are completely altering the entire global geographic and historical landscape for thousands of years. The language, the architecture, the technology, everything would look so vastly different that it would take you a whole week just to figure out how to order food. It would be a total sensory bottleneck. He points a finger at the television screen where One Piece is still playing. But a universe without nukes, the world would look nearly identical to our own on the surface, but global military logistics would be wildly different. Large-scale conventional warfare would probably be much more common since there's no mutually assured destruction to keep the superpowers from directly punching each other. It would be a fascinating, intense world to scout for 7 days before sliding back to reality. Jordan grunted giggles, tossing a pillow your way to snap you out of your deep daze. All right, Space Captain, I gave you my answer. Since your brain is currently operating at an entirely different dimensional frequency right now, which universe are you picking? I would go to a universe where white people never existed. In my previous experience with both universes, the former usually holds more global stability. The one where nukes never existed only exacerbate the sheer brutality of war between factions and states. Jordan's eyes widen in genuine fascination as he processes your explanation. He lowers his legs from the opposite bench, his mature face leaning forward into the polished wood trim table with a deep look of respect for your multiversal idea. Wow. You've actually been to both? Man, I completely take back what I said about the sensory bottle. If your direct empirical data shows that a timeline without white people yielded higher global stability, then that completely overrides my hypothetical guessing. He nods slowly. Or maybe he does this. Absorbing your analysis for the alternative, but you are dead on about the nuke-free universe. Without that ultimate atomic deterrent, there's nothing stopping massive empires from launching endless meat grinder land wars against each other. The sheer conventional brutality would be a total nightmare to witness for a week. Winding down for the night, your gummy high shifts to a wavy, intensely comfortable physical sedation, wrapping your frame in a floaty, warm sensory blanket. The soft cream cabins remains a perfect 68 degrees, and the early, colorful episodes of One Piece provide a peaceful, rhythmic, visual background. No, that thing would keep your ass up, man. I saw how bright that show is, especially early on. Jordan stands up, stretching his 6-foot frame, and reaches over the top to tap the TV remote, shutting down the media player to let a heavy, serene silence fill the soundproof fortress. All right, multiversal traveler, Jordan smiles gently, his voice dropping to a warm, quiet rumble. That gummy is clearly pulling you straight down to the sleep zone. We are locked tight deep inside this mountain cavern. Director Hera has recalled her field agents back to Tokyo. And we have all the Nitinol we need. Sleep it off, man. I'll see you on day 4. It's 8:49 p.m. I went to my room and snuggled in my plush blanket and fell asleep. Jordan is staying up to watch Bleach. What is Director Hera, Mikiko, and Hanaku saying and doing right now? While you are snuggled deep into the sensory perfection of your plush blanket inside the 68-degree cavern sanctuary, your 25-milligram gummy high pulls you effortlessly into a deep, uninterrupted sleep. Miles away in Tokyo, inside a heavily fortified underground National Intelligence Bureau bunker, the atmosphere is freezing cold. The command room is powered by a massive industrial-grade emergency generator at home with a deep, low vibration through the concrete floor. Agents Mikiko and Hanaku are standing stiffly at attention, looking completely exhausted and dust-stained from their field deployment. Standing across from them behind his briefing desk is Director Hera. Her sharp posture, his icy, calculated gaze carry the absolute weight of a top-tier national security chief. Director Kazuhira, slamming a physical dossier onto the desk. I have spent the last 3 hours explaining to a total logistical catastrophe to the cabinet. 2 living biological human males. The only verified survivors of the midnight deletion phase. Not only dismantled a specialized assault team squad at kilometer marker 12, but they plundered our primary nitinol manufacturing hub in broad daylight. Explain to me how a 10-ton transport managed to outmaneuver an elite intelligence perimeter. Agent Hanaku, her voice tight and defensive. Director, the vehicle's technology does not align with any known domestic or foreign military specifications. Our heavy combat rotodrone was tracking the tunnel exit at kilometer marker 12. The moment the transport breached cover, it deployed an automatic kinetic tracking turret. It intercepted and completely shredded our asset using high density tungsten stable rounds in less than 0.6 seconds. We had a strict non-lethal mandate to preserve the biological targets, which severely restricted our tactical operations. Agent Mikiko, furthermore, their navigation logic is completely independent of the regional grid. They bypassed our satellite passes using unpatrolled, unmapped dirt pipeline tracks to ascend to the northern mountain peaks. They didn't just raid the factory supplies, Director. They knew exactly what material they wanted, stripped the vaults, and vanished before our heavy infantry convoys could even establish a containment line. Director Hera, her eyes narrowing as she lights a cigarette. Wait, let me do that again. They didn't just stumble onto that vehicle. They engineered it. Or did they brought it across our borders before the Great Flash hit? If they are hunkering down in the northern peaks, they are playing a waiting game because they know our regional diesel supplies are fracturing. We are officially altering their national containment altering our national containment protocol. Oh, God. Agent Hanaku, are we launching a blind ground assault onto the mountain canopy? Absolutely not. We will not throw away any more finite military assets into a kinetic point defense funnel. If those 2 men want to stay hidden in the mountains, we will let them freeze in the altitude. Effective immediately, the border garrisons are establishing a permanent, heavy anti-material military blockade around the entire mountain base. We are locking down every highway exit, bridge, and service road leading out to the peaks. If they attempt to descend toward the coast of the Tokyo Green Zones, they will face a full division of fortified heavy armor. Oh. Director Hera dismisses the 2 agents with a sharp wave of her hand, turning her back to stare at a massive glowing map of Japan's dark grid dead territory. Mikiko and Hanaku bow silently, stepping out of the briefing room in total disgrace, completely stripped of their field authority. They just cannot get a break, guys. The calm in the peaks. Back inside the hidden cavern, the RV remains a completely untouchable ghost. The high-fidelity Bluetooth boombox fills the soft green cabin with the energetic, sword-clashing sounds of Bleach as Jordan stays up, completely relaxed on his couch cushions. keeping watch over your pristine survival bubble. And he goes to bed. It's day 4. It's 5:26 a.m. I made breakfast. Jordan wakes up at 5:30 a.m. to the smell of sauteed mushrooms. You know what he says? God damn mushrooms. Jordan turns over and says, I hate you sometimes. I said, but you love the smell of walnut but you love the smell of walnut oil and butter. You know you do. You know what? I feel like walking this afternoon before lunch. Think we should wear our armor? Jordan lets out a long, dramatic groan into his pillow. Muffled, his deep voice muffled as he processes early bird energy into sizzling food breakfast. Fine, yes, the walnut oil and butter combo smells incredible. Jordan confesses, finally rolling over his blanket against the soft cream. You win. Your nutritional supremacy strikes again. He sits up, rubbing his eyes as he smells the power greens and duck eggs cooking. As you mentioned taking a walk before lunch and ask about the armaments, his posture immediately straightens, his mature face turning thoughtful as he considers the tactical reality of day 4. Realistically speaking, yes, we should absolutely wear our armor, Jordan says, his deep voice serious as he steps out of his bunk. Director Hera made it clear last night she's going to spin up a massive military lockdown around the base of these peaks. Even though her troops aren't marching up to our cave, they might have launched localized high-altitude surveillance sweeps or dropped automated sensors along the trails while we slept. Skip, skip, skip. You played up the hot, savory sauteed mushrooms, duck eggs, and chocolate protein powder, fueling your frame for the afternoon excursion while your mind operates at... Oh, what? It's 5:42 a.m. I said, a cave? Jordan, my brain is telling me to get the Bluetooth boombox and play one of my songs in here. I'm thinking about playing the song Baron of the Rift. The drums would sound so badass in here. At 5:42 a.m. in the mountain cavern, you decide to test the epic acoustic reverb by grabbing your Bluetooth boombox and blasting your personal track Baron of the Rift. Jordan enthusiastically agrees, and cranking the volume sends thunderous drums and heavy bass bounding off the granite walls, creating an incredible sensory experience. As the music echoes through the hidden rock vault, Jordan steps out to vibe the massive sound, sparking an epic start to day 4 while keeping your location secure. That actually sounds like fun. I don't know about you guys, that would be fun. It's 7:45 a.m. What is Agents Mikiko and Hanako saying and doing right now? At 7:45 a.m., while you are enjoying your sauteed mushrooms and prepping for your afternoon mountain stroll, Agents Mikiko and Hanako are sitting inside a cramped, windowless processing office at the National Intelligence Bureau headquarters in Tokyo. They have just spent a sleepless night traveling back from the grid-dead northern sector after Director Hera stripped them of their field authority. They are currently sipping stale convenience store coffee, reviewing the final automated data logs, preparing for their official morning inquiry. Agent Hanako, rubbing her bloodshot eyes, look at the localized frequency logs before the Kanto plant relays collapsed entirely. They didn't just escape onto the mountain pipeline track. The acoustic sensors registered a massive rhythmic low-frequency vibration inside the cavern sector at approximately 542 hours. Agent Mikiko, leaning over her terminal. I see it. The wave telemetry shows high-amplitude rhythmic percussion and digital bass loops. It matches the exact profile of an unencrypted commercial audio broadcast. They were playing music inside a tactical mountain refuge during a high-alert military tracking phase. Agent Hanaku letting out a cold, disbelieving laugh. They are playing songs in the cavern. They plundered our only domestic source of specialized shape memory alloys, shattered our elite special assault team, and instead of executing a tactical ingress or establishing an extraction perimeter, they are treating the northern peaks like a holiday resort. They know we can't touch them. Director Hera's new directives are entirely defensive. The Bureau is currently routing heavily armored elements from the Tokyo and Saitama garrison lines to establish an ironclad structural blockade around the absolute base of the mountain ridge. We are completely shifting from an active apprehension model to a passive siege. Agent Hanaku setting her cup down firmly. Hera is making a mistake by leaving them alone in those peaks. A team with that level of self-contained technical engineering doesn't just sit in a cave and rot. They secured the nitinol ingots for a reason. And if they're not using the roads to descend, they are modifying that transport or something larger. For something larger. We need to get Hera to authorize a localized reconnaissance flight before they finish whatever they're building up there. The cavern vibe. The two disgraced agents print out their technical summaries, gathering their files to walk down the hall for their disciplinary debriefing with Director Hera. They have officially lost the initiative, and their high command structure is completely terrified of your phalanx turret's lethal efficiency. Back inside your pristine 68-degree mobile fortress, the echoes of Baron of the Rift has settled, and the space-age joint systems on your 15th century composite armor is fully calibrated and ready. Yeah, you can barely see your face, Gracie. Yep. Let's try this. Now we can see your face. It's either that or just look at the sun. Oh, I already read that part. Got it. Down the hall from their processing office, Agent Mikiko and Agent Hanaku step into the main underground briefing room. Director Kaizu Hera stands behind the glass table, her posture sharp and commanding as she stares down into the disgraced agents. She does not look pleased. Director Kaizu Hera, let's skip the excuses regarding your tactical failure at the plant. I am looking at the inventory manifest from the Kanto Metal Industries. The anomaly, the two men have bypassed the raw steel, ignored the copper reserves, and bypassed our digital prototype servers. They specifically extracted high-density crystalline nitinol-shaped memory alloys in wire bundles. Why? Why does a self-contained multi-axle transport need with structural-grade nickel titanium? Hiccups. Agent Hanaku, Director, our material analysts believe the choice is directly tied to the vehicle's long-term environmental mobility. Nitinol undergoes an instantaneous reversible materialistic phase transformation under high stress. Their wheel assemblies are completely composed of this alloy, allowing a tension vehicle to traverse jagged mountain paths and debris fields without experiencing standard pneumatic tire degradation or structural failures. Agent Mikiko says, furthermore, its supremacistic properties makes it the perfect base material for reinforcing heavy kinetic armor plating or building high-frequency automated weapon systems. They aren't looking for standard survival gear, Director. They stole the specific materials to upgrade or maintain their vehicle's mobility matrix for the long-term deployment. Director Kaizu Hera, leaning forward with her eyes cold. Then they are planning an exit strategy that completely ignores our established highway borders. They aren't hoarding food. They aren't hoarding advanced metallurgical components. If they are modifying that transport with raw nitinol up in those caves, they are preparing to breach our containment parameters. Maintain the heavy armor line around the base of the peaks. If that vehicle attempts to roll down the slopes, I want its drive systems disabled permanently. Cavern preparation at 8:05 a.m. Jordan shifts his frame into the matte black samurai armor, snapping on his composite arm guards into place. He looks over at you and adjusts your 15th century plate armor, a confident smirk on his face. They're guessing down there, Jordan says, his voice deep, carrying a muffled metallic ring. Director Hera is trying to wrap her head around our engineering logistics. Let her guess. We got our loot, our armor is on, and the path outside looks completely clear. It's 8:18 a.m. Jordan and I return to the RV. Director Kazuhira asks Agent Makiko and Hanako how it's possible for two men to exist. Inside the underground Tokyo briefing room, Director Kazuhira paces behind the illuminated glass table. The air is thick with tension as she stops and turns her icy glare back toward Agent Makiko and Hanako. Director Kazuhira, let's look at this absolute foundational anomaly of this entire case. 5 days ago, the Great Flash executed a global deletion code. Every single biological human male on this planet vanished into light in an instant. Yet, your field reports and the final voice logs sent from Team Alpha explicitly confirm 2 living, breathing adult human males are operating that transport. How is this biologically possible? Why were they completely unaffected by the structural decay frequency? Agent Hanako says, Director, our medical and quantum research teams have spent the morning cross-referencing the biometric footprints. There is zero evidence of environmental resistance or genetic mutation that could shield them from the deletion code. This leaves us with only one variable scientific conclusion. They weren't shielded from the Flash because they weren't present in our spatial coordinates when it occurred. They are from an entirely different universe. Director Kazuhira, a parallel timeline? Are you suggesting dimensional translocation, Hanaku? Yes. Director? Yes, Director. It explains everything. It explains why their vehicle possesses a closed-loop energy matrix and a self-healing microcapsule skin that does not exist in any global military registry. It explains why they wear the historic component plates and samurai armor that Flash hardens to diamond density under ballistic impact. They are dimensional travelers. They didn't build that vehicle to survive our collapse. They brought it across the threshold with them. Agent Mikiko says, and if Hanako's theory is correct, it explains their behavior at the Kanto plant. They didn't steal the nitinol because they were trapped here. They stole it because they were harvesting raw, hyper-scarce technological assets from our timeline before jumping to their next multiversal destination. They view our entire universe as a temporary scavenging ground. Director Kazuhira, leaning against the steel desk, her expression darkening. If they possess the engineering capability to slide between realities, then a standard military blockade at the base of the mountains is completely useless. They could simply power up their translocation drive and vanish from our universe entirely. We cannot allow them to leave with our state assets. I am authorizing a high-priority directive. Contact our quantum research sector immediately. If these men are generating a dimensional displacement field up in those mountains, I want to find a way to disrupt their frequency or lock them in this timeline permanently. Back in the cavern, you and Jordan step back through the heavy borosilicate door of your RV, your 15th century armor and Jordan's samurai gear gleaming under the crisp interior lights. You set your heavy tactical shields down. Jordan props his visor open. his mature face completely creased with an amused, confident grin as he looks at the scrolling decrypted text on the tablet. Well, give Hanako a gold star, Jordan chuckled. She actually figured out we were from another universe. But now Director Hera is panicking. She thinks we're going to slide out of this reality with their nitinol, and she's trying to find a way to block our portal frequency. Alright, I'm literally just about done here, guys, and I'll have to... Alright. It's 8:21 a.m. Director Kaizu Hera noticed the engagement logs that Jordan and I only killed in self-defense. Inside the secure underground Tokyo briefing room, Director Kaizu Hera taps her fingers rhythmically against the illuminated glass table. She scrolls backwards through the chronological combat logs from kilometer marker 12 in the Kanto plant, her eyes narrowing as a new realization sets in. Director Kaizu Hera says, "Look at the engagement logs again, both of you. Filter out the panic from the field reports and look at the hard sequencing." At the roadside station, Team Alpha cornered them, drew weapons, and attempted a hard containment breach before the two men opened fire with crossbows. Agent Mikiko says, "That is correct, Director." And the Kanto manufacturing plant, our special assault team snipers had anti-material rifles trained on their vehicle's drive systems before their roof turret initiated its suppression sequences. Exactly. The turret didn't execute a lethal sweep of our personnel. The tracking data shows that the tungsten saber rounds deliberately targeted the upper concrete pillars in elevated firing positions. It was a calculated kinetic display to force our snipers into cover, not a massacre. These men are operating strictly on perimeters of self-defense. If they were hostile universal conquerors, our skeleton crews and field scouts would have been systematically erased. They only fight when we corner them. Agent Hanaku says, "You believe they're trying to You believe they're trying to avoid unnecessary casualties, Director?" "I believe they are simply trying to protect their survival bubble and secure their technical assets without getting dragged into our global collapse. If they wanted to destroy us, they could have driven that 10-ton fortress straight into our command centers. They want to be left alone." If their Agent Mikiko says, "If their posture is strictly defensive, then our aggressive apprehension attempts are the literal catalyst driving their lethal retaliation." Director Kaizu Hera is standing straight, her expression turning deeply analytical. "Precisely. We are throwing away finite special forces assets and million-dollar combat drones against a bulletproof point defense system because we keep treating them like an active threat. If they only kill in self-defense, then a peaceful diplomatic contact might still be viable. We need to pause the kinetic operations. If they are still hiding in the northern peaks, I want our radio transmission sectors to broadcast them in open, non-encrypted communication frequency toward the mountain range. Offer them a formal non-aggression pact. Let them know we understand they are defending themselves, and see if they can talk to us before they decide to jump into another reality." I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.